I'm Madhu Sharma and this is Design Mind. Every episode we teach your mind about design by analysing a website. In this episode of Design Mind, we are looking at kickdrop.me, which has a brilliantly bold and colourful design. Kickdrop offers code snippets which allow web designers to quickly enhance their UI elements. The homepage begins with this wonderfully simple image. The use of bright colours and simplified objects make it irresistibly eye-catching. At first glance, the objects in this design don't actually seem to do anything. However, more observant users will notice that when hovering over them, the mouse turns into a pointer. Clicking on the object triggers these unique animations. This is a neat touch, as it creates a pleasant surprise that will leave a good impression on the user's mind. Underneath are these thumbnails that show off the latest code snippets. It's nice enough, but unfortunately, this section has three minor problems which stop it working as well as it could do. The first problem is the use of shadows and outlines for the boxes. They cause the thumbnails to be unnecessarily busy, which stops them from fitting in with the clean feel of the site. The second problem is the use of the hover animations. The zoom effect is quite nice, but the pop-up effect for the buttons is distracting, as it draws a disproportionate amount of attention to the buttons, which spoils the visual flow. The final problem is that the thumbnails place too much priority on the download and demo links. Most users would probably want to learn more about the item before downloading. Although clicking on a thumbnail takes the user to an article that provides more information, the download and demo links are so heavily prioritized that it will be easy to skip over the article link. They should have just used a link that said "read more" and put it in place of the demo and download buttons. Let's analyse the article pages. The article pages are really well done. On the right, we have the sticky column which gives key facts and links for the item on display. On the left is this small column which contains social media sharing links. This column isn't sticky, which is a bit of a shame, as the best time to encourage a user to share an article is when they reach the end of it. Expecting the user to scroll back to the top to share the article reduces the likelihood of this happening, as most users tend to go straight to the next article to read. The left and right columns ensure that the main centre area isn't too wide. This is great as it stops the text length from being too long, which makes it easier to read. At the bottom of the page is this footer, which contains a lot of secondary information that most users won't be interested in, such as privacy, terms of use, and licensing. Hence, the choice of a contrasting background is brilliant as it segments the footer off from the rest of the page. Let's analyse the site on mobile. Like many sites these days, the mobile version simply collapses into one column. Because a lot of the content on Kickdrop is quite large, this can make navigating cumbersome. The ordering of elements is a bit awkward. For example, this section is placed at the top of the page, even though it would be more useful for mobile users to first see the title and opening image. Other than these minor issues, the mobile version is usable, but not as good as the desktop version. Let's discuss some problems on the site. One key problem is that the site does not communicate that many of its downloads are free. When I first came to the site, I assumed that it would be something like Media Loot or Code Canyon, where you have to pay for the assets. This problem could be resolved by displaying a simple badge placed on the front page that said, "Great collection of free items." This would make it clearer to the user that many of the items are free. Another weak element is the question mark button that's constantly tethered to the bottom right of the screen. Clicking on it displays a contact form. The problem with the icon is that it's too vague. The question mark looks like it will bring up a help menu and not a contact form. The vagueness is only a minor problem, but seeing as this website specialises in user interface elements, having vague buttons doesn't create a good impression. A further problem with the button is that by always being on the bottom of the screen, it's far too prominent. It's great that Kickdrop wants to make itself easy to contact, but there's no need to draw this much attention to it. In conclusion, conclusion, Kickdrop is a great example of how bold and colourful design can be used to create a site that is eye-catching. However, it also demonstrates the need to really think about design elements, as some of its techniques, such as the thumbnail boxes, don't work as well as they could. This prevents the site from fully capitalising on the strengths of its design. That's it for this episode of Design Mind. A new episode of Design Mind is released every Monday and Thursday. Find us on the web at designmind.info. Our YouTube channel is at youtube.com/designmindinfo. You can also find us on iTunes. We'd love it if you could leave us a review at any of these places. Until next time, happy designing!